Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first round of the NRL in Season 4. After pre-qualifying from last week, both divisions have now been decided, and we have two cracking races to kickstart this season for the Saturday heats. I'm your main host, Flawed Genius Gaming, set to take you through all the thrills and spills from today's racing action. And have to say, anyone that watched last night's dramatics, hosted by the brilliant commentators of Toon, Leo and Slow-Mo, will have witnessed some incredible, intense and heart-in-your-mouth moments from their opening round. If that's an early teaser in what to expect from the NRL, we are in for one hell of a season. Joining me on the panel today are two awesome commentators in T-Case and Tatty that I'm glad to have alongside me to provide their professional and immense attention to details for all things on track. I suspect they may have an extra job on their hands to keep my emotions intact. Firstly, welcome back, Tatty, and how are you feeling today?
I think professional is a very strong word for anything that I provide. However, I will say that I'm feeling great. That was very kind of you to say, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome to hear, Tatty. Awesome to hear. And secondly, but by no means least, we have the ever-present T-Case. How are you feeling after last night's antics, and have you recovered?
How am I feeling? I was so excited to get started today because of how awesome last night was. You and I were both in the chat watching, and I'm not going to give anything away to anybody. I want y'all, if you didn't see last night, you need to go back and watch it because it was incredible. Both divisions were amazing, and I cannot wait to see what they provide for us today.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it was some very intense driving and full of action, and I'm hoping for more of the same tonight. There is three donations that wasn't announced from the last stream, so we have actually got a $20 Mexican from Corridor, and $10 from Slow-Mo, and Boyd Gaming with the $20 donation. He's saying Godspeed racers. So thank you so much for the kind donations from the community of NRL. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you very much. So now, due to the unavailability of some of the drivers because of the storms and the other problems that they may have had that didn't initially make it into pre-qualifying on Saturday, they instead qualified a day later. This has, in turn, changed things up slightly. So let's take a look at the now confirmed qualifying results from each division today. Starting off with T-Case on the top 14 for Division A, please.
Yes, so in qualifying with the quickest time on Saturday was MMR Moose 21. He had a 129.016. And in this split, we did see a bunch of 129. So in second, we had Lisa Salters 420. We had GI Baku in P3. P4 was MMR Supa Uba with a 129.314. P5, we had the Kai with a 129.393. Super tight there. In 6, we had PHG Banana, who we now know is Wicco, a returning NRL driver. Then we have in P7 GLK Sneaky with a 129.5. Then we moved into the 130s with a P8 PHG Caper with a 130.092, followed by PHG SPC with a 0130.11. Then in P10 we had Island Grown 777 with a 130.252. P11 Spawn with a 130.511. P12 Arrow US with a 130.550. P13 we had Felmora with a 130.655. Then we had PHG Jazam with a 130.836. Super tight qualifying for our Division A.
Great pronunciation of Jazam there, TK, love it. And Tatty, can you read us through the second 14 in Division B, please?
Absolutely. Not gonna lie, I was really afraid that TK wasn't gonna read it right, but you did it. Well done.
Don't worry.
Every time, like clockwork. Anyway, let me go. P15 was Cyrus Nicky GT with a 130.884. In 16th, we have PHG Lead Pencil with a 131.018. Racecraft 01 comes next with a 131.130. Jezer in 18th with a 131.288. PHG Captain Thunder in 19th with a 131.312. And in 20th, you've got BHR Johnny Boy with a 131.346. PHG Horn of Plenty comes in P21 with a 131.484. Then Parquet with a 131.487. Sweet Lou Sanis had a 131.551. In 24th, we've got Angry Fredbird with a 131.724. P. Rozzle in P25 with a 131.750. And B-Hop got a 132.110, our first person dipping into the 132s. And in 27th, RSR Zilla with a 132.328. Finally, in 28th, it's RTS Bandit with a 133.010.
Thank you, Tati. So that is the introduction to the stream done and completed. So I guess the only thing we can do now, guys, is to run you through the details for the first of two races, the first of which in Division B. So we are off to Northern Japan for the visit of high-speed ring reverse layout. Track length is 2.7 miles and has just 6 turns in total, with a race length of 26 laps and a 10-minute qualifier beforehand. The car they'll be using is the Bugatti VGT Group 1 car, with it having a max power of 640 brake horsepower to a 4-wheel drive drivetrain and weighs in at just under 1,000 kilos. Being a 4-wheel drive powerhouse, this could prove to be very handy, as I've heard from the guys at the weather office that rain could be expected at some point in the race, with the tyres available for the drivers, just the softs, the inters and the full wets. Important note that the drivers will need to keep the car away from the walls, as mechanical damage is set to heavy. There'll be a grid start with a full start check. BOP is enabled, no setups, however, we'll be able to use the brake balance this time around. The tyre wear is set to ×3 and fuel consumption is also set to ×3. Now onto the points allocation for this season. It is set to a F1 system, so race winner will receive 25 points, with second with 18, third with 15, 14th with 12, and so forth, all the way down to 10th with 1 point. Anything below 10th or a DQ will receive no points, with a bonus point added to the driver with the fastest in-race lap, as long as they finish inside the top 10. Top 14 drivers overall from both days after round 3 will move on to the grand finale on November the 9th. So onto the driver lineup for Division B, and we've got MD Hop 2, Angry Fredbird, Sweet Lou Sanus, RTS Bandit, P. Rozzle, PHG Horn of Plenty, RSR Zilla, Cyrus Nicky _GT, Jezer, PHG Lead Pencil, PHG Captain Thunder, BHR Johnny Boy, Parquet, and Racecraft 01. And just a word of note that Bandit has a quali ban ahead of this race and will start at the back due to a driver infringement in pre-quali last week. Now, all the drivers that you can see on show are either on YouTube or Twitch, so go and check them out and give them the support they deserve. Make sure that you keep McNulty up on one tab so you don't miss any of the racing action. Oh, okay. So it does look like the drivers are just getting their final preparations done. And in fact, they are out on track now to start their 10-minute quali ahead of this race at high-speed ring reverse. So let's take a look at the action. Oh, okay. So we're on board with MD Hop now. I was very surprised to see MD Hop in Division B, and that's no disrespect to Division B drivers, but MD Hop was challenging near the top in Division A last season. So it's going to be interesting to see how MD Hop gets on around this circuit. Now, if we just take a look at his details, if you don't already know him, he's a free agent. He drives with a Thrustmaster TGT. His qualifying result was down in 26th position, which he was lucky just to make the cut for Division B. So hoping for better things today and throughout this tournament. But you can catch him on YouTube at MD Hop 95. I'm pretty sure he'll be streaming right now. So we are on the hot lap right now, and yeah, this is a very interesting circuit, guys, because this is a very unusual technique of driving, because you almost got to treat it as a NASCAR track, you know, with the high banked corners. So you're kind of taking the outside line, which is a little bit alien to me. But what are your thoughts, Tati? Oh, okay.
That's because I muted myself when I thought I was unmuting myself. But we are here now. Thank y'all. Thanks to our producer, McNaughty, for letting me know. I was going to say that, I mean, it does depend on the corner and the driver. As you can see right here, P. Rosal goes on the inside corner in the second to last lap, the penultimate lap there, where I've seen other drivers just in the few minutes that I've been here who do take the high line through that. So we're going to see several different lines through there. You're right, though. There are some of these banked corners that you kind of treat like NASCAR. And I'm just very excited to see it, because those corners, they're important, especially going onto that front straight situation.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, TK, any experience around this type of circuit?
You know, I did a little bit of practice here, and I think it really depends on the car, what you do. And in these cars with, I mean, so much power, pretty much the exact opposite of what we saw last week with the MX-5 touring car. So these have all the power, four-wheel drive, a lot of aero. So the majority of this lap is going to be done flat out. And you can take the high line or the low line in a lot of these corners flat out. So it kind of just depends on where they're finding the grip. We might see a couple drivers start high and then cut down low for a late apex as well. And then, you know, if we end up getting weather, all that's going to kind of get thrown out the window, and they're going to have to figure out what the grippiest line is.
Yeah, that is for sure. It's certainly going to throw up a few interesting racing techniques and stuff, as we see already drivers coming into the pits. That was Cyrus Nicky coming in from P2. The fastest man on track is Angry Fredbird by 1/1000th of a second, guys, from Cyrus Nicky, who's just coming to the pits. Fastest lap time from Angry Fredbird is a 59.151. So already setting their stall out in this early part of qualifying. I say early part, but it's only 10 minutes, so we're 5 minutes in already, actually. TK, sorry.
Oh, and I was just about to say he's going to go a little bit quicker. He was setting purple sector times, and he just crossed the line to lower his time just a smidgen to a 59.111. I'm really curious if we're going to see anybody get a 58. In the bit of practicing I watched, it seemed like the low 59s was as quick as people were going to get around here, but as they burn the fuel off and put a fresh set of tires on, we might see someone dip into that 58 seconds.
Yeah, that certainly could be a possibility. We are on board with PHG Horner Plenty, who is, of course, part of the Papa House of Game team, just coming into the pits, but currently holds P6 with the fastest lap time of a 59.521. He's using a Logitech G29 wheel. He qualified in 21st position in the pre-qualifying last week, and if you do want to catch him, he is on YouTube at Horn_of_Plenty2629. So yeah, just coming out of the pits now, and there will be possibly about 3 hot laps for the drivers, I think. We'll have to wait and see, but let's cycle through the grid as we get on board with Jezza now. He's currently holding P3 with a fastest lap time for him, a 59.318. So you can see how tight it is through the field right now. Just 2 tenths separating him and Andy Fredberg, who holds provisional pole position. Jezza is a free agent right now. He uses a Fanatec DD Pro, qualified 18th, so just outside the top 14 for Division A, and he's actually on Twitch, so go and follow him on Twitch. It's Jezza. But we'll see what Jezza can do as we get into the last sector and the last corner of this lap. And yeah, we can see, well, it looks like a good one, but will it be good enough? Not quite, because actually he lost quite a bit of time there by 2.2 seconds. So yeah, currently holds on to P3 for the time being, but Lead Pencil looks like he just improved with a 59.35, I think it was. Yeah, looking a little bit better for him as we look on board with Racecraft 01, currently in P10. So he will want to improve here, and improve he does, up into P9 in a sub 1 minute lap time, 59.9 it was for him. He is part of the Go Instinct team. He's on the controller. He qualified just outside the top 14 in 17th position last week, and he's also on YouTube at Racecraft01.
MD Hop just hopped up from P7 into P1 after getting a huge 3-second penalty on his outlap, but then he used that slip behind, I think he's behind Cyrus Nicky, to eke out that 0.033 advantage over Cyrus for P1.
Yeah, well, we were talking about MD Hop ahead of this race, and yeah, certainly a driver that I don't feel belongs in Division B, but of course he still does need to prove his worth, and right now he is the fastest man on the track, as you mentioned, Tati. He is 33/1000th of a second up on Cyrus Nicky, who's propelled themselves into P2 with Angry Fred, but down into P3. It does look like Cyrus Nicky is done for this qualifying session, so we'll see if anyone can propel themselves above Cyrus Nicky, but certainly MD Hop looking good for pole position right now, TKs.
Yes, indeed, and we're seeing the lap times are just falling now. We got Horn of Plenty, who's moved up into P4. These cars are getting lighter, like you said when you're reading the descriptions of the cars. These are very, very heavy cars, so as they lose that fuel load, they're just able to unleash more power, as Horn in P4 just went purple through the first sector, so we might see him take a jump up towards MD Hop and Cyrus Nicky as these fuel loads drop off.
Yeah, indeed. And yeah, we have literally got 30 seconds left of qualifying, so dependent on where the drivers are positioned on track, it will be one more lap to go for this session here. MD Hop comes into the pits from P1, of course, so it is up to the drivers behind then to get their final hot laps in and see if they can compete with the American. But yeah, we're on board with Horn of Plenty. Doesn't quite improve there. 59.3 for him, remains in P4. It does look like Angry Fred
there.
Yes, indeed.
It's crazy how much time can be lost in just this short track, but one little mistake and your whole lap is ruined.
Yep.
And you look at this layout, and it's a simple layout. There's nothing crazy. There's a little S section, but the rest are kind of big banking corners, so they really have to figure out how to maximize each spot, because this grid is tight. P1 through P8 are separated by less than half a second. This is going to be super tight.
Well, someone that can't improve is Horn of Plenty, because he had a 1.5 second penalty. So we are on board with Cyrus Nicky, and I do believe they were 1/10 up on sector 2. So can they improve and make the jump on MD Hop? Not quite. Just falls short on a 59.0 there. It's looking like MD Hop is good for the for row 1 of the start of the race. We'll see what happens. Is there any more drivers coming across the line? I don't think so. I think that may well be
they're
it.
all complete. Yep.
So that is qualifying done. And TK, your thoughts on qualifying there?
It was way closer than I thought it was going to be. I mean, even all the way down, Bandit didn't get to qualify, but down to P. Rosal, 1.384 off of the lead. And then after that, it just gets tighter and tighter. So, they're all in equal machinery. So nobody really has an advantage. It's just more about how they're driving the track and how hard they're able to push it.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, no surprise that the times were very, very close together, and we will read out the classified results very shortly. But Tati, quick thoughts on qualifying for you?
I think it's going to be a really, really close race. As TK's pointed out, top 8 separated by less than a second, top 5 separated by less than half a second. So, I mean, it's anybody's race. Like you mentioned, they're an equal machinery. It's a very high-speed track. I think it's going to come down to just being perfect. It is a simple track, as TK's mentioned. However, everyone else is going so fast that if you make one mistake, you lose out on a lot of time, and losing the slipstream train could be catastrophic here.
Yes, indeed. And just to read out the classified results then. So, yes, MD Hop grabs pole position with that 58.978. Then it was Cyrus Nicky, just 3/100th of a second separating the top two with a 59.011. Then Angry Fredbird gets P3 with a 59.111. Then it's PHG Horn of Plenty in P4 with a 59.151. Very close there too. With Jezzo in P5 with a 59.318. Then it's Parquet in P6, just 7/1000th of a second down on Jezza in P6. P7 goes to Lead Pencil in P7 with a 59.351. P8 goes to Captain Thunder with a 59.409. Sorry. P9 goes to Racecraft 01 with a 59.618. RSR Zilla rounds up the top 10 with a 59.923. P11 goes to P Rosal with a 1 minute point 3. And then RTS Bandit wasn't allowed to qualify, so we'll start from P12, and Johnny Boy will start from P13.
I think I did some wrong math there, but that's okay. You got it. Thank you.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to review everything that you say, and I'm sure it'll be the same as well when I make my mistakes, because I'm definitely not perfect. So ahead of this race, then, so we talked about that there could be a possibility of rain. So how much do you feel that will shake up the race, TKs?
If it comes, it's going to shake up the race a lot, because it's looking like it's going to be dry at the start, but I'm looking at these settings and it says sunny and then random, and then we got some rain and then random. So at some point, rain's going to come in there. These drivers are going to have to be constantly checking that weather radar to see when they need to make that jump from slicks to either intermediates or full wets, and then adjust to where the grip is, because since the physics update, there's now kind of a wet racing line that is off of the main line. So hopefully all these drivers have practice in both wet and dry conditions so that they have an idea of where they need to be, because especially if they're on the slicks and it's getting a little damp out there, these walls are right there, and going into a wall, getting a wall penalty plus heavy damage, your race can get ruined real quick.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I have to definitely agree with you with that one, TK. I've just literally seen a donation come into chat from William Lyons, you absolute legend. $20 donation saying, good luck, have fun, everyone. Thank you very much, William. That is very, very kind of you. And best of luck to all the drivers out there. That is for certain, because, as we just mentioned, there will be rain at some point. I suppose, Tessie, I'm going to have to ask you, what are your experiences in the rain, and have you ever driven a Bugatti VGT Group 1 in the rain, more importantly?
No, thankfully. I have driven GR3s in here in the rain, rather, around here, and obviously those are all rear-wheel drive, so that presents its own challenge. This heavy Bugatti will be something to worry about, and braking probably. Again, those walls come up real fast on you in these banked corners and everywhere really. I was looking at the weather, and yeah, there's guaranteed rain, but those random slots worry me as well. Like, how much rain are we going to get? I will say that it's a gamble, honestly, if you're not paying attention to the radar.
Yeah, indeed, and yeah, that's the thing. The we don't have the control over the weather, so we don't know exactly when the downpour will come in, and how much it's going to change the strategy for the drivers as well. Which, of course, they, if it doesn't rain or it's very light rain, then it could mean that they might need to change up their strategies if they weren't prepared, without the rain in the first place. So. Yeah, all these questions thrown up in before this race, but I think it's nearly about time for the race to start, I do believe.
You know what, Flot? I was thinking on the weather. There's a tunnel here right before kind of the only braking zone on this whole track in these cars, and that's going into turn 3. So they're going to come around when it's raining, and then they're going to enter a completely dry little section that's right before a heavy braking zone. And I could see several drivers possibly getting off the line they need to be on because, there's so much grip in the tunnel, and coming out and hitting the brakes, and the grip's just not there like they thought. So I think that's going to be an interesting thing to see as they go into turn 3 coming out of the tunnel, how they're able to take those lines going from dry to wet.
Yeah, that's a very interesting note, actually, a very important note, actually, because as we said, if it rains in the middle and then it dries up a bit later, if the people that decide to gamble and get on the slicks early, if they get caught out by not going onto the dry line, for example, that could result in anything there. Could be spins, could be absolute calamity for what we know. Yeah, really interested to see what happens here. And it sounds like that the race is about to get underway. So we're just fixing a few problems in the background. So I think we're about to head over to the race now. There we go. So MD Hop and Cyrus Nicky on the front row with Angry Fredbird just behind as we start round 1 of the Division B on Saturdays. Lights out and away we go. Grid start, of course. I'm not expecting too many moves. Well, I say that. Cyrus Nicky up the inside of MD Hop. Looks like that person's got a good run on MD Hop and goes up into the race lead with Horner Plenty up the inside of MD Hop as well, up into P2. What a great start, and shows what I know, because I really thought there was going to be a train of cars here, but it seems like Horner Plenty got the best traction from the full start check there. And yeah, MD Hop into P2, Horner Plenty P3, Angry Fredbird down into P4 with Parquet up into
and
P5
we have a
now.
spin. Johnny Boy in P13 just spun right before the bridge.
I think he might have got put into the wall a little bit there.
Oh, man.
He was
Can we
like,
replay of that?
There we go.
Talk us through it, T-Case.
So as they come around, oh, there it is. So right before the bridge, looks like you got a little bump, and yep, just a little tap side by side, and that barrier pops out. That's actually goes from Armco to the actual bridge barrier, and that little bit that stuck out really hurt them, because that's heavy damage, and they're gonna have to go back to the pits.
Wow, okay, so already drama, and we're only 1 lap down here. So yes, just to give you an update on the grid order now. So it's Cyrus Nicky in first position, MD Hop into second position, Horner Plenty third position, and we've got an all from...
We have another P11 right now, RTS Bandit, as they came out of the tunnel into the S. Looks like the back end got loose. Let's see here. As they go into the tunnel, coming in. So this is that braking zone, really the only braking zone in the game, trying to make a move up the inside. And yet they're just too late on the brakes. Back end steps out, and then there's contact with the traffic. And that's heavy damage on that front right wheel.
Wow.
So already we're only on lap 2, and we've had 2 big incidents that are going to require some pit stops, as Racecraft also on that opening lap went into the wall, and they're coming in the pits right now to repair that damage as well.
They picked up a 1.5-second penalty when they went into the wall. I wanted to point out that Cyrus, Nicky, and MD
just to cut you off, sorry, we got Villa just up the inside of Parquet, moves up into P4, ahead of Parquet, drops down into P5. Sorry, Tati.
Nice. No problem. That's exciting. I just wanted to point out that MD Hop and Cyrus Nicky, while having their own battle, which just switched positions, have already put a second, 1.2 seconds on P3. It was 1.9 a moment ago when I started talking. I mean, they are going fast.
And we have got a battle brewing between the top 2 here. So they are side by side as we go through the final turn of lap 3. It's MD Hop that gets just in front of Cyrus Nicky, but Cyrus Nicky will have the slipstream going down the home straight right now. Switches to the inside. It might not be the optimal line here. MD Hop may have the better line. The outside line tends to be the faster of the 2 lines, but Cyrus Nicky up the inside and kept it floored as well, and makes the move stick. So that's twice I've been corrected already in this race, but making myself look very unprofessional there. But yeah, Cyrus Nicky holds the race lead for the time being, with MD Hop just behind in P2. Then we've got a train of cars between Horn of Plenty, Zilla and Parquet, battling for P3 right now. Horn of Plenty will take the outside line for this bank turn, or in fact, to quite the inside line there, which would have lost him a bit of time. There's Zilla using that slipstream. In fact, he's bump drafting Horn of Plenty, so playing a smart game here, it looks like, as they try to catch up to the top 2. So Horn of Plenty going a little bit defensive, but I do feel like Zilla perhaps may want to work with Horn of Plenty.
We'll trying to cooperate.
There we go. Yeah, he just gets into line there. Parquet is a further half a second behind in P5, but closing from corner to corner. It is down to about 4/10 of a second between P4 and 5 respectively, and then scrolling back up to the top, then yeah, there is a half a second gap between Cyrus Nicky and MD Hop. So MD Hop certainly in the fight here for the race victory, but we are only 5 laps into this 26 lap race here at high speed ring reverse, so a long way to go. It looked like MD Hop just skimmed the wall there, but gets away with it. No damage or any penalties to his name, and we'll get that slipstream now as we come down the back straight to end lap 5 of 26, and we'll see how much that slipstream comes to his advantage, because that gap is now down to 0.3 of a second and still closing. It's completely flat out through turn 1 there, and it does look like if MD Hop has timed this right, he may look to go around the outside of turn 3, but no, door gets shut firmly in his face there, and Cyrus Nicky just holding on to that P1. But yeah, what are your thoughts here, Tati?
I mean, that battle is hot. I'm watching a battle down in P5 and 6. Angry Fredbird and Roswell have been going back and forth, switching positions. Cyrus and MD Hop, of course, are putting on an absolute show. That outside move into turn 3 was risky. He tried it, but I don't think it was going to work. And it didn't.
Well, yeah, that was good. That was good on Cyrus to go defensive as they went into the tunnel, covering off the inside, because it's a weird long right-hander for how tight it is, and you might think you can get around the outside to put you on the inside for turn 4, but it really does a disadvantage trying to go the long way around there.
Well,
see if they try it again.
We're still on the battle for the lead of the race. It did actually look like MD Hop and Cyrus were working together to try and pull away from the grid behind them. It is currently 3 seconds now, the gap between MD Hop in P2 and Horn of Plenty in P3. As you said, still has this train of cars behind him, with Zilla for Company and Parquet as well. And then there is a little bit of a gap between Parquet and Angry Fredbird, as all Parquet, with a lost a little bit of time there, just grazes the outside wall there. He'll want to try and get back into that slipstream to stay in the fight for the Battle of P3. This race is flying by very, very quickly, because we're just crossing the line now to end lap 7 and onto lap 8 of 26. More interestingly as well, TKs, it's still blue skies out there. No sign of this rain.
Still blue skies, yeah. It looks like a gorgeous day, but it can change at any moment. I'm sure these drivers are constantly checking their radar screens and making sure that they are ready, because it looks like we're seeing some tire wear, and these drivers are going to have to start thinking about pitting for tires, especially those left tires. There's mostly big, long, flat-out right-handers here, so those left tires are really starting to wear, and that's going to affect their ability. We might see some drivers push it a little too hard, trying to make it to the rain, and then end up in the wall, as Lead Pencil is making himself known. Catching up on that backpack, making it up into P7. Very nice.
Awesome. Yeah. We just watched, I think it was Horn of Plenty kind of got into the back of Zilla there and lost out. Both of them lost positions to Parquet. Parquet now in P2, so we have some pit stops ahead of him.
Yeah, and interestingly, Cyrus Nicky from, I'm not sure if it was P1 or P2 there, but comes in from the lead to change onto new tyres. So we'll see how MD Hop is doing here, because it does seem like he's got a little bit of tread left on them tyres. I didn't see the tyres on Cyrus Nicky. So this is where things get very in. Oh, he just grazes the wall on the outside there. That would have cost him time. Very lucky not to pick up damage on that car.
And his lap time's been going down. So this wear, not only is it forcing him into those barriers, but it's slowing him down. And yep, we're seeing him go in the pits right now. So Cyrus really triggered. I think we're going to see most of the drivers come into the pits this lap. And we'll see if that undercut, Cyrus pitting one lap earlier, we'll see if they're able to come out, since they're on the fresh tires, and come out ahead of MD. And I think they're going to get it. I think the undercut works. So I think Horn of Plenty and Cyrus made the right call of pitting one lap before the rest of the field.
Yeah, it does look like it, because looking at the grid order right now, in fact...
Oh, and Horn he just got up to P4. He just overtook so many drivers coming out of the pits. He's now in P4, but as he was coming down that start-finish straight, there's a line of cars coming out of the pits, and he passes all of them. So watch this is the perfect example of the undercut. He was battling in P4, had a line of cars behind him, and then, thank you very much, my tires are nice and warm. I'll go ahead and keep it pinned around the outside and get my position back.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, good job there. Unfortunately, I haven't really done any testing in this race, so we're not 100% sure how long the fuel lasts, and when drivers are pitting, whether or not they're topping up their fuel, or some drivers are fuel saving. It's going to be interesting towards the end of the race, as we see MD Hop now go past Horn of Plenty, moving himself up into P4 and looking to start closing down on P. Rosal, who currently holds the last step on the podium, and he's closing very quickly as well, because P. Rosal was 1 second ahead of MD Hop. It is now down to just over 0.4 of a second. It does look like MD Hop has got some serious pace around this circuit, and will be looking to try to charge up the grid. But of course, he has got a train of cars just behind him as well. He's still got Horn of Plenty and Jezza for Company in P5 and 6 respectively. MD Hop just going down the inside of Rosal up into P3. I do wonder whether or not Rosal is performing some sort of fuel saving tactic.
Go ahead.
I was wondering too, actually, because going into that front straight, when MD Hop was coming past him, now he's bump drafting right now to try to get him up there. It seemed like he wasn't fully revved out. MD Hop a whole 9.6 seconds behind Cyrus Sneaky though. What kind of power was that? Like, what happened in that undercut?
Well, if you look at the fuel loads, so Cyrus has less than half a tank of fuel, so they didn't take any fuel. MD took a lot of fuel. They came out of the pits with almost a full tank. So MD is thinking about the long game, only wanting to pit one more time. Whereas most of the drivers did not take fuel in their pit stops. I think Hornet Plenty took a little bit, but no one took as much fuel as MD Hop did. So I think MD's going to be revving it out, going to be, getting as much power out of this as they can, where the rest of the drivers probably are going to be a little more cautious and probably do a little more bump drafting to save fuel for their next stint.
That makes sense. I still don't see any clouds darkening the sky, but I'm guessing that his plan is just, pit for rain tires when it's time. Oh, we got to spin behind him. We got to spin. That was Roswell.
Can we have a replay of that?
Roswell and P8.
There we go. So we're on board with P. Roswell. He was side by side with Horner Plenty, battling for P4, or technically P3, with MD Hop going into the first turn. He gets all sorts of sideways, collapses the inside wall, picks up damage and a 1.5 second penalty as well. And that is going to be very, very costly for Roswell.
Got his front right tire on the curb on the inside, and that just unsettled the car and just really ricocheted him up high into the wall. That was, if that was a real life crash, that was terrifying. Luckily, this is just a video game, but that heavy damage, that's going to be a long pit stop.
And we can see Angry Fredbird in the rearview mirror, actually just passing Zilla there very quickly, actually. So Angry Fredbird moves up into P5, and this race is certainly a bit of a yo-yo, because the driver grid is chopping and changing on a lap-to-lap basis here. So if I give you a quick update on the grid order, we've got Cyrus Nicky in P1, Parquet in P2, MD Hop in P3, P4 was Hornet Plenty, sorry.
Yes.
Angry Fredbird in P5, Zilla in P6 just behind, Lead Pencil just behind Zilla in P7. Then we've got Jezzo in P8, Bandit up into P9. He, of course, started from P12, who couldn't qualify for this race. So moving up 3 positions for Bandit and looking rather rosy for him.
He's going to need to come into the pits, though. His tires are done, and he has damage on the front left. While he has worked his way up to P9, it's about to fall back, because he's on a completely different strategy now than the other drivers. He had that early incident that caused him to pit early. So some of these guys that were in the back are going to just kind of be all over the place, because they boxed early due to damage, and now they're kind of evening back out. So I think we'll get a more proper grid order as they serve their pit stops.
Yeah, good call there, T-Case, because, we can see Bandit in the pits now, just changing tyres and filling up the tank, it looks like. We are just over halfway through this race. Again, maybe the sky's looking a little bit more hazy, but still no sign of this rain so far. So I wonder if anything will change on the second half of this race, because that will certainly throw the race on its head if that was to happen. So far looking good for Cyrus Nicky, Parquet and MD Hop for the time being, who currently occupy the top 3. But we're on board with Lead Pencil, who currently holds a P7, looking to chase down Zilla in the background. Lead Pencil is part of the Papa House of Game team, driving with a Logitech G29. He qualified in P16 in the pre-qualifying last week, and I would imagine he is streaming right now on YouTube at Lead Pencil 82 if you want to go and check him out. He certainly closed that gap to Zilla, who is just 3/10 up the road from him in the P6 as we go through the high bank corner and onto the flat out section. So it doesn't look like he got a good run out of that corner. So he does look like he's dropped a couple of tenths there. But of course, Zilla is Angry Fredbird is just in front of Zilla. So it will be a slipstream train going into turn 1 here. So yeah, let's have a look at Cyrus Nicky, who currently holds the race lead by 8.8 seconds. Wow, that is quite the lead. However, looking at the tyre degradation though, yes, you can see that Cyrus's tyres are looking a little bit worse for wear, particularly on the front left quarter there. So perhaps we'll be making a pit stop in the next lap or two. Certainly quite low on the fuel, and yes, the clouds are looking to creep over there, TKs.
Yeah, if I was watching, I might be thinking about my poncho or umbrella, because it does look a bit hazy.
Unfortunately, I think because of fuel, he ended up pitting. But if I was looking at the clouds right now, I would try to hold out another couple of laps to put on those reins. He's going to have to take an extra pit stop.
And look how much fuel MD Hop has.
Yeah, Parquet, Horn of Plenty, all those guys could have waited. They definitely had more fuel in their cars. I think people who have waited and who are not pitting on this lap are going to have an advantage, because that rain is coming. Horn on it. Yeah.
So these drivers, one thing we can't see here in the booth is the weather radar. The drivers do have the option to toggle through a couple menu items, and one is a weather radar, just like you would see on TV or on your phone, where you can see the clouds, the density of the clouds, how wet it's predicting to be, and the wind temperature. The wind's at 8.6 feet per second, so a pretty good breeze blowing that in, and I guess Horn is going to play it safe and go on the inters, but that's a gamble because the inters on the dry track are not fast, and they get eaten up really quickly.
They do.
So hopefully that rain comes in soon.
Yeah, he's the only driver who switched to inters. Like you said, might be a smart play. Might not be, because he's going to wear those inters down and be going much slower down the track. However, that haze is coming in very quickly. It might be within the next couple of laps here that we do see rain, and hopefully they hold up.
And PHG Lead Pencil in P2, his tires are really worn. I think he's trying to go as long as he can before, just that way he gets the pit stop done at the right time. It does look like most of the other drivers who pitted came out on the softs. Horn's the only one to do the intermediates as Racecraft's in right now. And their tires weren't really, nope, he puts on the softs as well. So Horn is the only one taking that gamble of the intermediates.
Yeah, this is a race of chance, but I do think the top two are coming in now, because I don't think they could have got any more laps out of them soft tyres. But it seems like a lot of the drivers are just waiting for the heavens to open. It's really thrown up a bit of late drama here, because we're going to see if MD Hop or Lead Pencil are going to go back out on slicks. It did look like they were going out on slicks.
Yep. Both on slicks, because if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, there's no water on the track yet. So it's still dry out there, and these are all-wheel drive, so skilled drivers can get some performance in the wet on slick tires, and it just makes it that much easier when you got all four wheels delivering the power.
Kay just made a brilliant pass on both Cyrus and Zilla, both of them at the same time going into turn 1 rather. So he's sitting in P2 now.
And also Lead Pencil up outside of Cyrus Nicky up into P4. So Cyrus Nicky has lost 3 positions in the space of a couple of corners there.
Wow.
And also,
oh my God.
Yeah, Angry Fredbird also sneaking up the inside as well. I don't think Cyrus Nicky was looking in the mirrors there, and Angry Fredbird with a sly maneuver there up into P5, and so 4 positions lost in the matter of probably about 4 corners there. So this is certainly ramping up here. There is a big train of cars behind Parquet. It looks like, oh my God, Zilla! Oh, contact with Lead Pencil there, but luckily Lead Pencil and Zilla on Lead Pencil, should I say, luckily came to nothing there, and Lead Pencil able to keep the car on the circuit. But certainly a very scary moment in what is the last 5 laps of the race. It does look very dark out there though, Tassie and TKs, because although there's no rain on the track surface right now. Just got this feeling it's going to tip it down in the final 5 laps.
It is.
So
And
too, unfortunately, Horn of Plenty's intermediates are pretty much dead. So he jumped on those too soon and almost for no reason. He's probably going to have to take new ones when the rain does come.
he is. That's for sure. And it's amazing with the contact we saw, and the only result, no damage, and it was just a half a second penalty to RSR. So what could have been really terrible ended up being not so bad, as RSR is in P6, but has already caught back up to Angry Fredbird and Cyrus.
Oh, slight clattering of the wall there from MD Hop, but currently holds the race lead with a just under 2-second lead over Lead Pencil, who finds himself, he also grazes the wall on the outside with Parquet putting all types of pressure to Lead Pencil, just 4 tenths adrift. Yes, certainly this is going to be a very interesting last 4 laps of this race, because there's barely any gaps between quite a number of drivers here. MD Hop with a 2-second lead. If it doesn't rain, then he is looking good for the race win. If it does rain soon, because we still don't know if it's going to or not, this could throw up all types of surprises. But yeah, certainly Parquet looking to harass Lead Pencil to the bitter end here. And of course, Parquet is going to have to make a move soon, because he's also got Cyrus Nicky for company in P4, just 8 tenths down the road from Parquet. So we'll see how we get. Oh, that is MD Hop.
That's MD Hop.
Oh my God.
MD Hop down to P6 now.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So maybe a commentator's curse here.
We got a back marker.
Yeah, we got a back marker in Roswell, who was in P12. So going into this right-hand turn, we're on board with MD Hop, and it was nothing to do with the back marker.
Wow.
Driver error. Hit
and he had
the wall,
plenty of tire. It wasn't a lack of grip. That was interesting. They've done 24 laps here, and I guess you got to make a mistake sometime.
Yes, you do.
That's an unfortunate time to make it.
Wow, yeah, not too long to go. Horn of Plenty did pit and take another set of inters. They believe that rain is definitely coming. You might see it.
And he's in P8, so I think with Horn, he took the inters. It didn't work out. He did lose some position, but he's still in the points. We're doing F1 style points, so as long as you're in the top 10, you're going to get some points. And he really has no threat from the drivers behind him. So playing it safe again on the intermediates, it might pay off, and he can leapfrog a few positions for drivers who are on the softs if that rain ever comes.
Bandit just pitted and took another set of softs. So I wish you could see the radar, because I wonder what it is that Horn of Plenty is seeing that no one else is seeing, or is ignoring.
Well, one thing we've got now is a fascinating battle for the top 3 now, because we've got Lead Pencil just leading in front of Cyrus Nicky up the inside of Parquet, who left the door open, moves up into P2. Now we'll be chasing down Lead Pencil, as we've got 1.5 laps left of this race. This is going to be a very, very intense finish to this race for certain. In fact, we've got a huge chain of cars behind. It does look like that Cyrus Nicky is under all sorts of pressure from Parquet in P3. Sinner just behind in P4, and Angry Fredbird in P5 as well. But it looks like, for the time being, Lead Pencil has escaped the clutches of Cyrus Nicky by just under half a second. But that gap will come closing down. Lead Pencil will be a sitting duck on the final lap of the race as he gets past the back marker of Roswell there, and this is where it could get rather interesting. Got a bit of contact in the background as well. It looked like it was Cyrus Nicky, or was it? No, it wasn't. It was Parquet, I think, in the background, who got slightly nudged, and then
Roswell the back marker.
Indeed, indeed. Let's stay on board with the. Let's stay on board with the race leaders, though, because we're on the final lap of the race. Lead Pencil's got a 1-second lead over Cyrus Nicky, but there is a chain of cars behind with Parquet Zilla and Angry Fredbird looking to duke it out for the final couple of corners here. And can any of them leapfrog Cyrus Nicky up into P2, because it does look like Lead Pencil is going to come home for the race win in round 1 of Division B around High Speed Ring Reverse. Congratulations to Lead Pencil. P2 will be Cyrus Nicky.
Oh, Parquet.
It's going to be side by side. Parquet. And Parquet gets P3 and Zilla.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. What a fantastic end to proceedings in this race, guys.
0.008. 0.008 between P3 and P4. That was a straight up drag race. RSR Zilla was in the slipstream of Cyrus. Parquet was on the inside, not getting the slipstream, and RSR was getting so close. I mean, 0.008. That is incredible.
They had another 2 feet.
Right. Another 2 feet. And Zilla would be on the podium. Incredible.
The photo finish to all photo finishes. So yeah, just to confirm the other drivers, it was MD Hop in P6, Jezza in P7, P8 to missed that there. Holder Plenty P8, Racecraft in P9, and Captain Thunder and Roz already coming across the line to claim P11 and 12, with Bandit bringing home the P10. What an incredible race, Tati. This is what NRL can be like.
Wow, absolutely. That was very shocking. No rain. The track never got wet. Horn of Plenty had to take 2 sets of inters. I hadn't even noticed, but Captain also was on inters for the last few laps there, and it was just a bad gamble on their end. But yeah, that battle for P2 there, mwah.
That was
Chef
great.
Kiss. Yeah.
Chef
Indeed.
kiss.
And Zilla with the fastest lap, that slipstream that he was getting there at the end really paid off.
Way to go.
Wow.
Is there a fastest lap point?
Yeah, there's
Yes,
an extra point if you finish in the top 10.
Okay,
And,
well, let me just read out the classified results quickly then. So we've got Lead Pencil. Congratulations to Lead Pencil for the race win of the first round in Division B. Then we had Cyrus Nicky just 1.5 seconds down the road to hold off Parquet, who was just behind in P3. Yeah, P2 to Cyrus Nicky, P3 to Parquet. P4 went to Zilla, just 1/1000th of a second separating Parquet to Zilla. As I said, the photo finish. The photo finishes of the photo finish with the fastest lap time as well, with a 58.465. Then P5 goes to Angry Fredbird. P6 goes to MD Hop, who got very unlucky, who did hold the race lead but made that crucial mistake, and only P6 for his troubles. P7 goes to Jezza. P8 goes to Horn of Plenty. P9 goes to Racecraft. P10 goes to Bandit. And then we had Captain Thunder in P11, Rosal in P12, and Johnny Boy rounds up the grid in P13.
MD Hop was the biggest surprise there for me. They seemed to be in control of the race, had a good slipstream to the back marker in front of them. I do wonder, what are the blue flag rules? I should read the rule book, shouldn't I? Wow, terrible commentating.
I just need to quickly read out a couple of donations that we had in chat. I do apologise for the late response there, but as you saw, we had a cracking race there, and it was hard to take our eyes off the racing action there. But Leo, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Let's go. Good luck to everyone. Well, yeah, we definitely got the best of races there. And Papa's House of Game with the $20 donation there. Let's go. I said hello, TK's Flawed and Tatty. Hey, Naughty too. Thank you so much for the kind donations there, guys. And hopefully NRL hasn't disappointed. Yeah, just an absolute fantastic race there. And I think it may well be time for the top 3 to be interviews to get their race reactions there. So let's talk to Parquet with the 3rd position. Congratulations, Parquet. Fantastic result for you. How are you feeling?
Man, I was sick, man. I'm still, mine is still spinning after that in there. Got caught up a little bit in the blue flag, but yeah, man, that was fun.
Yes, indeed it was. I mean, like, at the last sort of couple of laps, we really didn't know like where everyone was going to get positioned because you was that close together, particularly from was it Zilla, wasn't it, in P4? So you know, like it could have gone either way, right?
Yeah, no, it was for sure a crapshoot at the end. I actually made the decision to stop fighting because, I felt like it wasn't really going to be sorted until lap 26. So yeah, it was definitely got really scared there at the end because I feel like this pack started swallowing me up there a bit. But yeah, no, it was definitely a bit of a lottery there at the end.
Yeah, that is for sure. TK, have you got any questions for Parquet?
Yeah, Parquet, incredible. Great job. Great job. So you said you kind of decided you needed to stop fighting and just kind of work your way till the end of the race to get your positions. Watching this race, the slipstream was really strong. Were you ending up lifting and not doing any overtakes into some of the corners just so you weren't fighting? Or when you had the overspeed, were you going to go ahead and send it as you went through the race?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was lifting on kind of the green bowl going into the last or into like the main straight. But I was deciding that if I had to overspeed and I thought I could take the lead going into turn one, I was going to do it. I think I was able to do that a couple of times earlier in the race, but kind of later in the race. I think it was Cyrus and, oh man, I forgot. I think it was somebody from Papa's house I was kind of working with there at the end that I couldn't get the overspeed on. So I decided to settle in at those points.
And Tati, have you got any questions for our third place finisher?
I don't know what to do. Just want to commend you. I definitely noticed your strategy, especially in the beginning of the race, was, you were sitting there being patient behind, I think it was Zilla, as you guys tried to catch up to, actually you were behind two people trying to catch up to Cyrus and MD Hop in the beginning there. And yeah, you were killing people in the turn one for a while there. Congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Right, well, Parquet, congratulations on P3. Some excellent points for you in round one. I think you definitely deserve a nice little break and grab yourself a beverage or something. And yeah, thank you for that really exciting race there. And yeah, look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks for round two.
Sounds good. Thank y'all for putting this on. I can't wait to finally take a break, like you said, and tune into the stream now. I don't have to be fighting like this early on this beautiful Saturday.
You're very welcome. So we have got Cyrus Nicky, who grabbed P2 from the race. Again, congratulations. It was a very intense finish to the race. How are you feeling after that, Cyrus?
Oh, hey everyone. Yeah, that was intense. I'm still, my heart's beating still. That was incredible. Honestly, it's an honor to be able to race in this league. So it's my first time. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I was in control but I made one little mistake and it cost me some seconds. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you actually, Cyrus. So of course you was battling away with MD Hop in the early stages of the race. Then it looked like you came into the pits one lap earlier, and it looked like you got the jump on MD Hop, and it was looking like you made the right call. And then all of a sudden things changed a bit later on. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So basically, I pitted at the end of lap 8. I decided not to refuel. So that was good. And I built like an 8 or 9 second lead. So it felt pretty good. And then when I pitted at the end of lap 17, that's where I decided to just kind of top up the fuel a little bit. But then when I came out of the fuel, I don't know, I think at that point the weather changed a little bit. The tires were cold. I think like a few corners in, I actually spun. So I think I lost probably a good 5 or 6 seconds. And then again, I found myself in that incredible battle. But it's like, I feel like I was in control, but one little mistake. But, that's just, I think, the nerves got me.
No, you certainly did a fantastic job there. Tati, have you got any questions for Cyrus?
My one question, I didn't know what happened exactly, or rather I didn't remember. I didn't think about the tires getting colder and the grip on the track being not as optimal as it was in the beginning of the race. I mean, you raced well though. You did great. To get back up into P2, there's nothing I can say about that. Very heroic. Well done.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
And T-Case, any questions?
Congratulations, Cyrus. That was really exciting. Was there at any point that you thought about changing up your strategy, just as you saw the racing unfold around you? You saw what MD Hop was doing, because for most of the race, it looked like it was just a race between the two of you.
Yeah, I mean, I think at one point, I think it was at lap 22, I was like, did I pit one too many times? Like, because based on like the practices I did, I was like, okay, lap 8, lap 17 seemed good to me. But I'm like, did people do one pit stop? I'm like, so I wasn't sure. I was doubting my strategy, but I was like, you know what? Let's just push it. And there was definitely intense there. I'm thankful that I recovered too, but I think it was just mainly the mistake that I made. I spun out, but thankfully I was able to recover, so I didn't lose like a lot of time. But I think that my whole lead basically went out the window.
Well, I gotta say, a huge congratulations to you, Cyrus. I mean, you certainly got my heart beating. Maybe you should get your heart checked now as well. But but no, fantastic points for you again. Going into round one should be a huge relief to you. And now you do deserve to sit back, relax. Grab yourself a nice treat, and we'll see you for round 2 in a couple of weeks.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it and really excited. Yeah. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
So, on to the last person in the interview room, our race winner for round 1 in Division B. It is Lead Pencil. How are you feeling after that? Oh, he's muted. Lead Pencil is muted, so if you just want to unmute yourself.
Click that little microphone button.
Might have stepped away, maybe still catching their breath, because I mean,
well, yeah.
To get into the front of that particular race had to be very stressful.
Do you guys remember where he started?
I don't. I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I was jotting down a few notes, but there was so much going on. I think he started.
He started
seventh.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. So words from production saying that he started from 7th position, which is absolutely phenomenal. We're hoping to get Lead Pencil on so that we can quiz him about his race. It does look like he's having a few issues in getting his microphone to work. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty familiar with Lead Pencil. We've raced a lot in the past, and then he's been streaming a lot. And one thing that stands out to me about Lead is his racer IQ, his driver mentality. He's not always the quickest, as we saw. He qualified 7th, but he is very, very consistent, and he knows how to play the long game. He understands where the grip is on tracks. I've watched on his stream some of his. He'll do like track walkthroughs where you get out of the car and use the camera to go around to look at the camber of the track and stuff like that. So his racer IQ is very, very high. So I'm not surprised at all that he made his way up to the front.
Well, we can probably ask him now because yes, we can hear you.
Okay,
well
great.
done in fixing your microphone there, and more. Well done. Congratulations on the race win there. You should be very happy.
Oh goodness, yes. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna take me the rest of the afternoon to calm down. That was wild. I have a lot to say, but I'll let you ask the questions first.
Well, I was going to say that we was told that you qualified in P7, and then to make up that many positions. I mean, was it? How do you feel it was? Do you think it was your strategy going into the race, or do you think you got a little bit of luck and kept it consistent?
Well, I think perhaps it's going to be a combo of both. I knew starting in the middle of the grid, it was going to be tough to stay out of trouble. And, I wanted to stay out of the walls and I wanted to not hit anybody and hopefully not get hit, and that's with those cars and that speed, that would be really hard to pull off. And
Mm.
I guess it was after the first 3 laps or maybe 4 laps, things sort of settled down a little bit. And I think I was in maybe 10th or ninth, and I was racing with a couple other guys. We were sort of together in a little group of 3, and we were just sort of going, just feeling it out. And I think it was lap 9 where I pitted with them. We were all together. We pitted together. The middle of the race is sort of a blur, but um, in the middle part of the stint, I was pretty confident that the guys in front of me were slowing me down a little bit. And so if there was any strategy that I think helped me out, it was I went for an overcut. I
Right.
the other guys pitted at about lap 18, I think, and it went in. I decided, you know what, I'm going to go one more time because I was definitely getting slowed up in the first corner, and then in the last corner before the straight, I was also getting slowed up because that dirty air is just nuts.
Yes.
I was feeling the wheel go light if I was too close, so I was having to turn in earlier than the other guys on both of those turns. So when I came out at the end of lap 19 or and maybe the beginning of lap 20, I came out in a fight with 5 other guys. Zilla was there and a couple other guys that I don't remember now because it's so much of a blur. But I realized at that point, wow, I'm fighting for first place right here.
Yes, and you held your nerve, and I got to say, big congratulations. It was I got to say, a faultless drive from you. So, T Case, have you got any questions for our race winner?
Absolutely. Led, great job, man. That was awesome. Great job. You did the PHG crew proud. Um,
Thanks, TK.
we
Thank
were during the race, we were talking about weather a lot, and of course we can't see the radar. So in those final laps, I actually hopped over on your
Mm.
stream to see if you were looking at the weather. And no, you were in a in a fight trying to maintain the lead. You had your track radar on as you were coming into back markers, and you had a gaggle of cars behind you. Were you
Yeah.
checking the weather radar at all,
Yeah.
or had you kind of just determined it wasn't going to rain? So you were checking it. What did you see on there? Did it ever look like it was going to rain, or was it just the dropping temperatures?
So when I had done my practices in the lobby that I created for myself, it was consistently raining at about lap 9, like right about the time you would normally pit to change the softs anyway, right? So when it was still bright and sunny at lap 9, I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if it's actually going to rain. And and because honestly, and maybe it played into my favor, I backed off and just sort of took it easy that first third of the race because I thought, you know what, the rain's going to be a game changer. I thought for sure there was going to be rain. I didn't really get aggressive until after my second pit. And I knew it was like, okay, if this is going to happen, it's going to happen now. So kept checking periodically, and then probably the middle stint, I didn't check at all because I could see it was sunny. It was a beautiful day at the high speed ring. It was gorgeous. Um, and then uh, and then it got cloudy on the last stint. So I did check a few times there, but I never saw anything on the radar. So I'm like, well, softs it is the whole way. Let's go.
Interesting. And finally, Tati, have you got any questions?
I congratulations again, Lead Pencil. Because honestly,
Thank you.
like you said, you were nowhere in the beginning of the race, and then I looked up and you won. Um, I found out how you got up to that front battle. I would like to know how you made the pass into P1. I imagine it was absolute chaos and you were flying through like fire smoke or something to come out
So
in the clear. What
I
happened?
think
How did you get up front?
I I think it was MD Hop who was in front after so what? I came out of the pit at about lap 20, and there were like me and 4 or 5 other guys all kind of clustered together. I made a few moves. I think I made maybe 2 moves, or I'll have to look at it again. to see exactly what happened. But I'm pretty sure that MD Hop spun on
He
the
did.
final corner. Yeah. So that's how I got first. When that happened, I could not believe my eyes. And then it was, I think I had maybe a 6/10 lead on second place at that point. It was just try and break the slip a couple times while I'm on the straight so he doesn't catch. But then, what was it? The last 2 laps, we ended up with lap traffic. And that was a game changer because I
Yeah.
think if we didn't encounter lap traffic, I think that I think it could have been different. It might have been a really close finish, but because somehow I got through, I think I just ended up, hitting some of that traffic at good spots, whereas P2 and P3 were fighting a little bit, I think, and then you added that lapping car, and then I ended up with a second plus, I think, on the final lap.
For sure. You did well through the traffic, and it definitely played a part in how P2, P3, and I think even P4 turned out because they ran into lap traffic right as they were out of turn one and starting to enter the S's, and it was just a lot of cars and a little bit of space. So congratulations
Wow.
again. Thank you for
Thank you
walking us
so
through that.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. No, I appreciate it. And just a big thank you for me. I need to thank a bunch of folks, all the people that helped me out doing the races here and get me set up, and the PHG crew. You guys are awesome. Everybody that helps each other out and gives each other tips. Like, phenomenal team to be a part of. I can't thank all of them enough.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic performance from you, Lead Pencil, and you've really shown us the skill and that determination to grab your first win of the season, and it certainly takes off the pressure for you in the remaining 2 rounds. So definitely go and celebrate, and grab yourself a beer or whatever you do to celebrate.
Energy
And
drink. It'll be an energy drink.
energy drink, Lucasade
Yeah.
or Gatorade or something.
Oh no, nothing like that. The bad stuff, the stuff that's not good for you, the stuff that makes your heart pound even more.
Well, go and enjoy yourself and relax, and of course enjoy the next race, which is Division A, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks for round 2.
Okay, thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So that concludes our first race of the evening, and well, I mean, what a fantastic first race to start off with. I'm still trying to catch my breath, to be honest. But we're going to go for a short break. So for the viewers out there, go for your own pit stop and grab whatever you need, and we'll be back very shortly. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're fueled up and raring to go, as now it's the turn of the Division A drivers to be put through their paces. Let's hope it's as good as what Division B was like a few moments ago, because I still can't get over that race, to be honest. But yes, let's take a look at what they'll be facing today. So we are off to the Rocky Mountains in Western America for the visit of Trial Mountain in reverse. Track length is 3.3 miles with a total of 15 turns ahead of a 14-lap race here with a 10-minute qualifier before the race. And that will be driving the Lamborghini Huracan Group 3 car. This 576 brake horsepower car is an absolute monster. It's a mid-engined rear-wheel drive car and weighs in at 1,200 kilos. With the nature of this car and track layout, it's going to be tricky for the drivers to keep it balanced through the corners, but luckily they have the soft racing tyres at their disposal. It's going to be a grid start with full start check to open the race. Balance of power is on, but no setups, with just brake balance that they can change on the fly, and mechanical damage set to heavy. Tyre wear is set to ×3, and fuel consumption also set to ×3. Tati, can you read us through the how the points will be allocated today?
So the race winner, aka me, will get 25 points. Second place will come in with 18 points. Third place nets you 15 points. Beyond that, we get points down to 10th place. So fourth will take 12 points. Fifth will take 10. Sixth will take 8 points. Seventh place gets you 6 points. Eighth will take 4 points. Ninth gets 2 points. And 10th gets the final point. There is also a 1 point bonus if you get the fastest lap. And the top 14 drivers of Division A overall, after round 3, not this round, they'll move on to finals. So every point counts.
Thank you, Tati. And TK, can you read us through the drivers in Division A for this afternoon, please? Oh, TK, you muted.
Yes, sorry about that. You know, you got to click on things. Yes, Aero US free agent, PHG Banana from Papa's House of Games. We got Island Grown 777, also a free agent. PHG _ SPC, Papa's House of Games. PHG Jazam, Papa's House of Games. We got Lisa Salters 420 is a free agent. PHG _ Caper, Papa's House of Games. We have The Kai from BND, and we have the leader of the Moose Mafia Racing and Moose 21. Then his teammate, MMR Super Uba. We got GLK Sneaky from the Hako Racing Academy. We got GI Boku from Ghost Instinct. We got Spawn, who's a free agent, and Thelmora, who is also a free agent. And I believe these drivers will be either on YouTube or Twitch. Yes, and you can see their YouTubes right there. Several drivers on YouTube. Hopefully they are streaming this race. And then some of the drivers will also have Twitch. I believe Moose is a Twitch driver for sure. And sure enough, there he is. So quite a few, both YouTube and Twitch. Give those drivers your support if you can. You know, it is free to follow and subscribe.
Thank you, TK. So, looking at the driver lineup for Division A, then, of course, it was very interesting through pre-qualifying. Any one of top 7? I think it was like half a second separating them in pre-qualifying. But of course, that was in the road or street car. Today is, of course, in the Lamborghini Group 3 car around a very tricky circuit with lots of undulations, lots of uphill and downhill stretches. It can be very technical, and of course, track limits could come into play as well. T-Case, looking at the driver lineup, how do you think the drivers will fare today?
It's going to be tight. I think we're going to see another super tight qualifying, like we saw in the previous race, I was able to hop into several practice lobbies, and I got to tell you, the Kai is flying around here. Really incredible these times they're putting in. You know, qualifying's one thing though. Setting that fast time, this is a difficult layout and track to race. Most of the turns are not wide enough for you to go side by side, so we're going to have to see a lot of single file. And also with this track, the undulation, that the crests of the hills in the middle of turns and the banking, the car can get unsettled really, really easy. So I think your qualifying time is going to be a huge factor here.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you with that one. I wonder if, Tessie, you've got the same thoughts as well. You know, what is your experience around trial mounting reverse? Because it's not the usual circuit we see. Like, you see the forward versions, but not so much the reverse layout.
Absolutely. I agree with TK's assessment. In fact, before the racing started, we were talking about that there would be a lot of single file and that most of the passing opportunities would be in the straights and to some of the corners like the chicane. But even those passing opportunities, there's usually some obstacle at the end of it that means if you didn't do it right, you'll lose all your momentum anyway. As far as my experience with trial mountain reverse, I will say that I probably haven't raced here in reverse since GT5 or maybe even 6. So throwback there. However, what I will say is that all that single filing means a lot of dirty air. And so I think we'll see some issues for people into the corners for sure. You know, just trying to maximize their lines and their times while racing behind someone else won't be easy.
And you know, with that dirty air, this is a track where it's not necessarily walls, but there's these curbs just on the outside everywhere. And if you hit that, that's going to be damaged. That'll be a wall penalty. So yeah, with the dirty air and the barriers everywhere, I'm glad I'm not doing this race. Let's just
most definitely. I almost forgot something that you mentioned, TK. The crest. Some of these corners, especially in those S's in sector, I think they're sector 1 in this layout, they have crests. And so if you're behind someone, you've got dirty air, you've got nothing keeping that car down and planted. You're gonna have to tiptoe through those.
Yeah, and if you have a wheel, that wheel's gonna go light real quick. And when the wheel goes light, that means your tires are not gripping the track. And when you have 3 turns in a row, if at one of the apexes you lose that grip, you're done.
Yeah, certainly. Well, the drivers are just on their out laps now. So I'm so excited for this one because we've got a whole host of fantastic drivers. And something I was trying to allude to as well is that obviously it's one thing to drive a Mazda touring car. It's another to drive a Group 3 car, and certain people might be stronger in the group cars than your street cars. As we look on board with GLK_Sneaky, who got P3 in the finals last time out. He's part of the Hawco Racing Academy, which is a fantastic team. He's using... he's using a controller with motion controls. You don't often see that. That is for sure.
Look at his strat, man. He is burning up all the fuel. He's got the brake halfway, full throttle.
That's right.
And I watched a few drivers do 2 out laps before they put in a hot lap. And Sneaky was one of the ones. We started calling this the Hawco strat because in our first season, he kind of introduced this fuel burning to the whole community that hadn't seen it before. And Sneaky is part of the Hawco Racing Academy, so it makes sense he's taking that into full effect.
Yeah, and do that in GT Sport and daily races. I would spend that first lap just burning all of the fuel, letting everybody pass me. Then the second lap, maybe do a little tire warm up, and then third was the real flyer.
Yeah, and pardon the pun, but very sneaky.
That was good.
So we're on board with PHG Banana, who is Wicco, we found out last week. So we will see how Wicco... Do we call him Banana or do we call him Wicco? Because this is going to get confusing, isn't it?
Call him Banana because honestly... the dedication to the Chiquita banana liveries is admirable, and I think we should honor that by calling it banana.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. All right, banana it is then. So we're just focusing on a lap with banana. Yes, you can see that beautiful livery and attention to detail he's put in to that livery. Just gone down the back straight into turn 8, into turn 9 now. This is a sequence of corners I like to call the Rockies for obvious reasons. And then it's the left-hand turn at turn 11 through the tunnel, and because the reverse section is downhill, which can get the over rotation through the corners, so the drivers do need to be very careful. But nicely done from Banana through to turn 13, and this is where you need to watch out for track limits, as it can get a little bit sketchy through the exit. Goes a little bit wide and just about gets away with it, but he comes across the checkered line there as the 1 minute 49.699, but moves up into P1 straight away, 61/1000th of a second above him, and Kai goes into pole position with a 1 minute 48.937, 7/10 quicker than Moose, who currently holds P2. T-Case.
That's incredible. Like I said earlier, I was seeing the Kai do stuff that other drivers weren't doing, and that was getting into the 48s. And I know that they are capable of a quicker time than that. As we watch that final sector of Banana, that's one of those points where if you don't get that right-hander out of the tunnel right, you can't get the final corner right either. There's three corners right there, and you got to nail the first one. Otherwise, you lose the line, the car goes light, and you can't keep it pinned through the final corner.
Yes, indeed. And I was looking at the Kai's details there, but he is using the Logitech G29 wheel. He's part of the Bib and Dribble team. He's qualifying last round, or in pre-qualifying, should I say, was P5, and as well as Twitch, he is actually on YouTube at KD the Kai. Certainly a man that's looking on form right now. We are halfway into the qualifying session, and I wonder if anyone is going to be able to challenge KD the Kai for pole position. We'll see if KD the Kai can go quicker, because I mean that is a phenomenal opening lap, getting into the 1 minute 48.
Will neaten this lap though. I mean, he's hitting his marks in this one.
Look how he just keeps the throttle in. A slight lift, and I think the fastest time I saw the Kai do was a 48.7, and that was yesterday in some practice that I hopped in with them. So I know they have more to give, but right now it looks like the 48.9 is plenty.
Well, I just noticed that Moose went a little bit quicker, still remains in P2, but he got a 1 minute 49.3. We are on board with Super Uber, who currently holds himself P13. I don't expect him to remain at the back of the grid though, but he is part of Team Moose Mafia. He drives a Logitech G29. He qualified in P4 last week, and he is on Twitch and YouTube at TTV UberBeast 9687. In fact, that is the address for YouTube. He's a driver that is known to a lot of us, where he doesn't put a lot of practice in. I know there's a lot of drivers out there that would spend, hours upon hours every day making sure that they get their perfect strategy and make sure they've really got it dialed in every lap. Uber's not one of them drivers, but does perform to a very, very high level. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets on here, because, of course, as we mentioned, trial mounted reverse, not your normal circuit, particularly in these cars as well. We will see how he gets on as he goes through the tunnel section now. We are halfway through the lap. I did notice also on the leaderboards that Lisa Salters has moved their self up into P3.
So currently on a purple lap and only have a few corners left, but it's purple by less than a tenth. It's going to be close.
Can we look at P3 quickly? There we go.
This is that part they got to get. They got to get this turn right. If you get this turn right, the next corners. I mean, slight lift, barely, and back on the throttle again, using all the track.
Trust it. You got to get that mirror up on that barrier, baby. Come on, Lisa.
Oh, position.
Yeah.
God.
1 minute 48.8 for Lisa Salters. I thought they might have lost time there on the exit, as we see Super Uber come into P4 there with that 1 minute 49.4, I do believe. In fact, I think it's more than that. I think it's 0.7. So we're on board with Moose 21, currently holds P3, fastest lap time, 1 minute 49.186. So Super Uber will be 1 minute 49.4, in fact. Moose currently holds P3, who was looking rather strong in practice, but he's certainly got his work cut out in the last remaining laps of qualifying. He is the founder of Moose Mafia Racing, Logitech G923 he uses. He qualified P1 for Saturday in the pre-qualifying. If you do want to catch him, I'm sure he is live right now. Find him on Twitch, Moose21.
For that livery, because I think that's the livery that's actually representing the combo. I mean, that Lego livery is lit. Can we get a 360 of that? Yeah, McNaughty, thank you. Let's go Lamborghini Lego. I love that thing.
That's beautiful. Awesome. I mean, that would. That is a bold strategy to go for, to try and put off the drivers around him. But there's no rule saying that you can't distract drivers, right? But we're on board with GLK Sneaky then. Currently finds himself down in P6, which is a little bit of a surprise right now. But I think this is going to be his last lap, actually, as he goes over the final corner with Super Uber just behind as well. Can Sneaky improve? No, he can't, and Super Uber doesn't improve either. Or does he actually? He does actually.
He's up to
P3, yes, well spotted. And Lisa, we know Lisa Salters' pole position. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Katie the Kai is in P2. He's coming to the pits as well. So it does look like Lisa Salters will hang on to that pole position unless Super Uber, Moose and Co have anything to say about it. Certainly on the final lap, this is when they really need to perform to their absolute maximum. So Felmora currently holds himself in a P8. He's a free agent, uses a Fanatec DD Pro wheel, qualified in P13, so just scraped through to get into Division A. And if he is streaming right now, go and find him on YouTube at Felmora. We're going into the final sector of this lap. We'll see if he can improve upon his 1 minute 50.101. Finds himself 1.2 seconds adrift of the leader. That is Lisa Salters.
It looks like it's just Felmora and Caper who are still on flyers. Everyone else is done or in the pits.
It looks that way. Doesn't improve, unfortunately. Remains in P8. We've got one more driver in Caper, as Tassie just mentioned, and also doesn't improve either, so remains in P10. And I think there's one more driver.
Caper's got damage, so I wonder how much where that got picked up and how long they've been driving with it. It matters. Definitely would have slowed the driver down. That is for certain. It does look like that is it for qualifying in Division A. Just a quick information on Caper. Part of the Papa's House game. He's driving with a Fanatec DD Pro. He qualified in P8, so he's certainly a very, very good driver. Of course, Caper is Shaun's, isn't it? Yeah, keep forgetting that.
Yes.
You can catch Caper on YouTube at Shaunzy403. He's another driver that I'm not used to calling Caper and Shaunzy, but we'll get past that issue.
And he had a decal of Papa from Papa's House of Games, and then Michael Scott from The Office dressed as Prison Mike on the hood of his Lamborghini. I thought that was a funny little duo of faces on the front with the smash switch, and then there's Papa and there's Prison Mike. He hates the Dementors.
Okay, fair play. Yeah, of course, TK's part of PHG, so he knows a lot of the drivers. I know he'll be rooting for the PHG team there. But yeah, your thoughts on qualifying there, Tessie?
Thoughts on one, it's pretty close between the top 3 drivers. Really, top 4 aren't too far apart, just a couple of tenths separating them for the most part. So it'll be very interesting to see how those 4 race each other. And then, of course, Banana will have a chance because with everyone in front of him racing and battling, there's always opportunities to get close, especially if people are battling into these corners before these fast straights.
Just to give you the confirmation of the qualifying there. So pole position went to Lisa Salters, 1 minute 48.824. That is absolutely phenomenal. And then Kai, we didn't spot this, but only 21 1,000th of a second off of P1 there, finishes in P2. Super Uber gets the top 3 position there with a 1 minute 49.0, with Moose just a 10th behind in P4 with a 49.186. Then we got Banana in P5 with a 1 minute 49.411. P6 went to Sneaky with a 1 minute 49.745. P7 went to SPC with a 149.876, and then P8 went to Fermora with a 1 minute 50.101. P9 went to Spawn with a 1 minute 50.249. Top 10 finish for Caper then with a 1 minute 50.573, with P11 going to Arrow with a 1 minute 50.640. P12 went to Island Grown with a 1 minute 51.127. And then rounding up the grid is PHG Jazam with a 1 minute 51.563. Somehow I can't do it as good as you, TK, but you know, I'm trying.
It takes practice. You just start. I've been saying his name for a while now.
8th like through 11th place are actually really close too, so we could get some mid-pack drama going as well, which everybody loves mid-pack drama.
Mm-hmm. Scrapping for those points, those final points. They're valuable. 1 point doesn't seem like a lot, but it can be all the difference. So
listen, I will risk it all for 1. I'll risk it all for 8th.
There you go. There you go.
Well, yeah, points wins championships, and yeah, certainly every position does count for the drivers. So we'll see how they get on, as I do believe they are lining up to start the race here at the Trial Mountain Reverse Circuit. But yeah, certainly good luck to all the drivers. It's going to be very interesting to see what the strategies are on play in this race. But yeah, we've got on the front row Lisa Salters and Kai. So we'll see how they get on as the lights go out. And away we go in round 1 of the Division A Saturday heats. And it's a good start from Lisa Salters, with Kai trying to battle away, but it does look like Lisa Salters has got the inside line to go with Super Uber, just moving down into P4 because Banana looked like he was trying to take his position away there. Banana does go up into P3. Uber down into P4. Moose into P5. Sneaky in P6. It's a clean getaway from all the drivers, though, which is very, very impressive as we go into this right-hand turn. But yeah, certainly the top 2 drivers looks like they've already peeled
3 wide.
And we've got 3 wide going into the left-hand turn, and the succession of S turns here. Moose actually moving up into P4. Sneaky up into P5. It's Super Uber that loses out. Down into P6. Spawn up into P7. Felmora remains on that P8, so Spawn up 2 positions from qualifying there. And as we go down the back straight through the tunnel up the hill, there is going to be a big slipstream train going ahead here, and we'll see who is the latest of the late breakers. It looks like Spawn is eyeing up a move on Super Uber as we come out the tunnel for the right hand turn.
Oh,
beautiful move, textbook overtake on Super Uber. I think it may well. No,
I don't think it's next.
No, it doesn't, because Super Uber's got the inside line for the next turn.
Wow.
So you could call it a long switchback move there from Super Uber to hold on to that P6 position. But yeah, certainly Felmora very close in the background, eyeing up any opportunities that are given to him. So we're going to go back on board with the race leader at the moment, which is Lisa Salters, who currently holds a half a second lead over the Kai in P2. Information on Lisa Salters. He is a free agent and drives with a Fanatec DD Pro. He got a P2 in last week's pre-qualifying, and you can catch him at Lisa Salters 420 on YouTube.
I want to point out Super Uber in P6 has a 1 second penalty, and that's meaningful because one, he'll definitely lose positions, but also he is kind of Felmora and Island's grown, so he spins it. He is their key if you're staying in the slipstream train, but now he is gone. So
P10, P11.
P10, yes.
Further. 13, I think.
13th now, yes.
Wow.
Oh, bad luck. Terrible luck there.
He was in P6. He already had that 1 second penalty as we came up to, I think that is turn number 3, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he caught it on the outside.
Grass will get you.
And that spun him round. He's very fortunate, though, not to pick up damage there. And it's a safe rejoin for him as well. So, yes, he does fall back to the back of the pack, but not his... Well, I was going to say not his all lost, but no, it is lost because...
He spun again, I think.
Wow.
It is. We got 14 laps. There's a chance, but... Ooh. Yep. What's going on?
Oh my god! And
dirty tires from that first spin.
From the first spin, you're right.
Yeah, dirty tires and probably overheating tires as well, because you can see that he spun up his rear wheels there as well with all that tire smoke. So yeah, he's got it all to do. But if there's anyone that can, Super Uber is one of them men. So we'll see how he gets on. But we have got a big battle brewing up for P8. Island Grown is heading this train right now with SBC just behind, looking to close a gap, and it looks like Island Grown has left the door open as well for SBC to go up the inside and move up into P8. So a fantastic move there from SBC. I wonder if there was... I was quite surprised that Island Grown didn't defend that, to be honest, but maybe letting his fellow countryman through. But to give you the details for Island Grown, he is a free agent, uses a Logitech G29 wheel, qualified top 10 in last week's pre-qualifying, and he's also on YouTube at Island Grown 777. So yeah, there is certainly a good battle going on for it's about 5. It's for P8 between about 5 cars, I believe.
And you know, Flaw, I think it's this early in the race, and I know SPC and Island have raced together a lot. This early in the race, it doesn't make sense to fight, especially look at that gap between SPC and Flamora, 3.5 seconds. So it doesn't make any sense for Island to fight SPC. If SPC is a little bit quicker, let them through at the chicane, didn't close the door. SPC made the apex, and now Island can work with them in the slipstream. And we got PHG, Island, and PHG there. The three of them can work together to catch back up to P7, and they've already started to close that gap.
Yeah, and to be honest, so something we didn't really mention is the actual strategies coming into play right now, because some drivers will be pushing to the absolute limits. Then we've got other drivers that will be doing a lot of fuel saving. I do believe that the no stop is possible around here.
Is it?
Yes, indeed. So, of course, the tyres will be pretty much burnt to a crisp by the end of the race, but well, depending on how much they push, really, or how much they fuel save, how much they short shift, you know, it is possible to do a no stopper, and it does seem like a few of the drivers are doing that, or even maybe a hybrid of it. I'm not sure. I suppose we'll find out in a few laps time, TKs.
Yeah, the fuel's going to be the biggest issue. I do believe that the softs can make it 14 laps if you just don't completely abuse them, but it's making that fuel last. I did some testing here, and tried with the short shifting. Short shifting alone wasn't enough. I had to mess with the fuel mapping. And even with that, I was looking at coming up short. Now, I'm not the best at fuel saving, so I'm sure with more practice, some of these drivers can make it to the end, but it really compromised my lap time. And with how tight it is out there, trying to stay in the slipstream, because if you lose that slipstream, you're not going to gain. So it's going to be, I'm going to be surprised if somebody can make it all the way on one tank of fuel.
It's certainly going to be tight, and I think there will be a lot of changing of the fuel maps, which is something we can't really see here. But yeah, I can definitely see with Lisa Salters and the Kai, they're definitely pushing to the limits here, I think. Well, actually, a slight short shift actually from the Kai there, but certainly that is going to be a one-stop strategy for the top two. Whilst the rest of the grid, just looking through, as I said, I think it might be the hybrid of the two. There are people that will do the one-stopper, there'll be people that do the no-stopper, but it does look like when given the opportunity, some of the drivers are short-shifting and changing the fuel map. But what are your thoughts, Tassie?
I think it's going to be really hard to make it on either fuel or tires, and I'll tell you why. By the way, Giselle with some damage. I'm not sure what happened. He's in P12. Maybe we can catch it. But I think to TK's point, you need the slipstream to make it through this race and to stay up at the top. The slipstream will also scrub those tires, though. So front tires are going to be struggling for people. And also, there's just those long straights are so long. It's hard to, not rev the engine out. I mean, it's the big old thirsty, high revving V10. So I think we're going to see stops. I don't think we're going to see anyone no stop it.
Yeah, and you can get away with short shifting through the corners. It actually, from what I saw, worked good not to rev it out in the corners. But you're right, it has two incredibly long straights that you need to give it full beans.
You're going to have to go to the 6 gear for sure. Yeah,
exactly.
One thing I've just noticed, I think Super Uber has left the lobby because we are down to 12 drivers. So I don't know if it was out of frustration or a disconnect there, but it's a shame not to see him in this race as we look on board with Arrow US. Currently holds P11. He is a free agent right now. He's using a Logitech G Pro wheel. Qualified P12 in the pre-qualifying last week as we got
and a spin from Ireland.
And P12 Island grown. Can we have a look at that replay, please?
Wow.
So going through
he's going to get a little light.
Yeah, just coming out the exit of the tunnel, flicks over to the right, catches the wheel on the grass, and he gets the oversteer. And unfortunately for him, it is about 4 spins, nearly collects a car on the exit there as well. And not only has he picked up front aero damage, but probably rather dizzy from that as well.
Funnily enough, that exact same corner will do almost the same thing to you going the other way. So, nope, just don't touch the grass there at all, ever, for no reason, for any reason, really, and in any layout.
Indeed. So, a little bit unfortunate for a few of the drivers there. It's quite easily done, as we've seen a couple of examples now. But the drivers that are certainly looking on form right now is the drivers in this fight for P3. We've got PHG Banana heading this train. We've got Sneaky just behind, who now finds himself up a couple of positions to P4, with Moose down into P5, who is pretty much trying to hang on to that slipstream range, but kind of struggling, I think. And then Spawn in P6. So we'll see how these drivers get on, but you can see that the fuel is starting to drop down towards the quarter tank mark as Katie the Kai comes in from P2 with 35% of fuel, and will be looking to get onto some new boots there. So dropping down the grid for the time being, as we've now got Banana and Sneaky and Moose moving up to P2, 3 and 4 respectively. And Sneaky looks to go and get the overspeed over Banana. It looks like he got a much better exit and getting the inside line for this right-hand turn and moves himself up into P2, although Banana is coming fighting back and he's not going to quite have the line. He was possibly eyeing up a switchback, but Sneaky covers that off for the time being. But of course, will be a sitting duck as we go around this right-hand hairpin for the massively long straight through the tunnel. So we'll see what happens as Moose gets a much better exit than Banana, and looks like he is, well, possibly making it work, because Sneaky weaves to the other side of the track to give Moose the slipstream. So Moose up into P3 with Banana down into P4, losing 2 positions in a couple of corners. And as we go into the right-hand bend now,
trail.
Does look like Sneaky is going to cover off P2 for the time being, but this is looking rather close. Isn't that right, Tessie?
Oh, Banana's got front aero damage, so that definitely would have affected him in the straight there. I wondered, because I was like, Moose has got a better exit and the slipstream, but he passed him like he was driving in reverse, and I think that is what's affecting Banana. He's going to want to pit, go ahead and take tires, fix that damage, etc.
Yeah, get a little bit of fuel. They're halfway through.
Yep,
so
Shazam was the very first to pit for that exact reason. Had damage, went ahead and did tires and fuel.
And there goes Sneaky and Banana. I was going to say, I didn't realize the Banana had damage, but that was smart. Had Banana not had damage, that was really smart of Sneaky to move over and give Moose the slipstream. I think the idea was for, I don't think so, but I know they raced together quite a bit. But had Banana not had the damage, it would have worked really well. But really, Sneaky should have just stayed in front of Banana, and that would have made Moose and Banana have to fight more. But there's no way for Sneaky to know that Banana had the damage there. But it was a smart move to kind of be thinking of give the person 2 spots back a little bit of boost, and maybe they can get fighting behind you and give you some clean air.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad, because I think without the damage, Banana would have passed him with that slip. So he's like, well, let me let somebody pass somebody else, but they still can't get past me.
Exactly.
Well, we've seen a slight change to the grid order then. So Kai already making his stop. He's currently finds himself in P5. He's actually gone purple as well through turn 7, so on the end of sector 1 there. So yeah, Kai is the fastest man on the circuit, but it's going to be interesting to see how the strategies in front of him are playing out and how it looks for him as well, because at the moment can't really work out how this is going to play out. Surely, oh my god, Spawn looks like he's had a moment there, because he's dropped down into P4 and he was on the back end of SPC going through the tunnel and then out the exit. Has he sunk a wheel on? No, just the oversteer. Just
got on the gas.
Yeah. And picks up front aero damage to boot as well, so I'd imagine he'll be coming in shortly. The top 3 are just coming into the pits now. Lisa Salters from P1, Moose from P2, and SPC from P3. And Spawn just comes into the pits now. So we'll see how if this undercut has worked out for Kai then, as it does look like he has made it work. And propels himself back into the race lead. It does look like he's got quite a healthy lead as well, because Lisa Salters just putting in the fuel now and actually, I just realised.
Oh, that was weird.
The exit is up.
Isn't it? It jumps.
It's past the chicane. Wow.
So my apologies there. So Lisa Salters managing to reclaim the race lead ahead of the Kai, but we are seeing that there is just 3 tenths separating the top 2, and of course Kai is going to have warmer tyres than Lisa Salters, so we'll see if that is an advantage for him or not.
Oh, yeah, coming out of that corner for sure.
Yeah, indeed. And there's the Kai now, fully in the slipstream, draws up alongside Lisa and will or should
side draft, get him.
Yeah, move up into the race lead now. Lisa Salters is going to come fighting back though, has now got the slipstream as we go up the hill and into turn number 8, and they're going to be side by side as we go through the corner. They both give each other
lighter car.
space, but they're still side by side, aren't they?
Yep,
They are.
they are. Oh, Lisa got that. The Kai went a bit wide.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Lisa just getting the optimal line through the corner, retakes the race lead, but I know Kai is not going to give up without a fight, and with what is just like 2 tenths separating each other, this is going to be certainly very nail-biting. And what is important is not cutting track limits. Kai goes a little bit wide and just about keeps it on circuit. And I think Lisa will
Left the
just
ground a
about
little bit.
able to hold off Kai as we go into turn 1 of lap 10. Although big dive bomb, big send from Kai. No contact between the two drivers. It's great respect between the both of them, but Lisa Salters still holding off the Kai. And yeah, this is where it's going to get very interesting, T-Case, with 5 laps to go.
5 laps to go, my goodness. Yeah, very interesting. This driving we're getting to see right now is incredible. If you do daily races, you don't see this very often. Like going wheel to wheel through 4 corners here at this track, not making any contact with each other or the wall, keeping up with each other, super respectful, space is given, nobody's making outlandish moves. And this is great. They have enough fuel, their tires are good, they're going to make it to the end, so it's just going to be an all-out dogfight here for the win of this race.
Going to force him to go around the outside here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lisa's going to try to keep that same line that helped him out, but hopefully the Kai learned the lesson.
Fantastic move from Kai. He was brave and he hanged it around the outside. To be fair, Lisa Salters gave the space and the Kai takes the race lead. But it's definitely a game of cat and mouse here because Lisa Salters is coming back with a vengeance and looking to stick to Kai's back bumper like glue as we come through the last sector of the lap, through the technical section. Can they both keep it clean through this section? Yes, they can, but it does look like Kai got the better traction on the exit of turn number 15. So for the time being, the Kai is in P1. Lisa Salters 4 tenths adrift in P2 with sneaky 6.3 seconds adrift in P3. In fact, I've just been keeping my beady eye on the leaderboards there, and that gap has come down to about a second on the last lap there. Sneaky has got Moose for company though in P4 in that I don't know if you call it beautiful or off-putting livery from Moose there, but yeah, currently is a second adrift of each other fighting for that P3, and then there is going to be a bit of a gap between Moose and Banana in P4 and 5 respectively, of roughly about 5.3 seconds is the gap there, with Famora just behind Banana in P6. So certainly this race is not done. There could be a few movers and shakers throughout the grid in the final 4 laps of this race, as we see both Banana and Filmora go up the back straight through the tunnel, and of course Filmora will have that slipstream, so we'll see how much that gap will be closed in. But yeah, TKs, what are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, so as we watch this, I think if you're within half a second of the car in front of you, it's actually to your advantage to be in second place or be the car in the back going through the first sector, and then carry the speed out of turn 7 onto the long straight, get the slipstream, and then as you approach turn 8, it's banked enough that with the overspeed, you can send it either around the outside or up the inside, and then it's really hard to pass in that final sector. So I think if they're close at the end, it's better to be the car behind going through sector 1, then you can take your advantage in sector 2 and win the race.
And,
Lisa Salters, because in lap 9, the Kai, was on the outside of that, I think, turn 8 after the long straight, and Lisa got on the inside. The Kai ended up going wide into the left-hander there, and that gave Lisa the opportunity to pass again. But the Kai learned the lesson, and then the very next lap, he kept it neat, didn't go wide, even though they were in the same exact positions, and now he's got over a second on Lisa. I think Lisa has got to worry about fuel a little bit. It took less fuel than the Kai. So Kai's running away with it right now in first.
Yeah, it looks like the plan from Lisa Salters has backfired slightly, but of course still in a very, very good P2 right now. But looking a little bit further down the grid, we've got Sneaky in P3. Moose looking to apply all types of pressure to the Canadian right now, who's got the slipstream up the hill through the tunnel. And can he use that to his advantage to get ahead of Sneaky by the time we get to turn 8? Where it's looking like Sneaky is not going to make it easy for him. Moose is going to have to try around the outside, and Moose decides to back out for the time being. But if Moose can get his lines correct through the next few corners, perhaps he could be favourite to grab that P3 away from Sneaky.
Second set of S's looks so heinous. I mean, this whole last sector technical section is definitely difficult, but certainly following someone can't be easy through any of it. It's gonna catch air right here. Ooh, a little bit, yeah, a little squirrely. Keeps the meat though. He's behind Sneaky. I don't think he'll be able to make a move into the chicane though.
No, unfortunately not for Moose for now, but we have got 2 laps remaining, so still plenty of time for him to, oh my god, was there contact? Or it was very, very close if there wasn't. Yeah, it looks like Moose just about got on the anchors just in time to avoid a collision to Sneaky just in front of him. Yeah, certainly very close between the 2 drivers, just half a second separating P3 and 4 respectively. And yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what Moose can do from here. I know Sneaky will not make it easy. He's going to make Moose fight tooth and nail through the final embers of this race. Yeah, definitely one to keep an eye out on. It does look like, just looking at the leaderboard, that Kai has extended his lead at the top of the grid to about 1.6 seconds now. It's looking rather rosy for Kai for the first win of the season. As we see Caper in all sorts of trouble there, moving down the grid order, down into P10. I wonder if we can get a replay on that. So looking on board with Caper then, who was in P8, going into, what turn is that? I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, he gets all kinds of oversteer on the exit on the brow of the hill there, and struggled to turn the car around. He managed to hit the barrier as well and collect front aero damage, so that is not going to help his cause. But we are on the last lap of the race. Can you believe it?
Wow.
And yeah, Kai has a, I would say, reasonable, comfortable lead at the top of the grid there, with a 1.5 second gap to Lisa Salters that currently holds P2. The gap between Sneaky in P3 and Moose is currently half a second, so no let up in the pressure from Moose on Sneaky. We'll see if Sneaky can withstand the pressure on this final lap, because this is where it all counts. So
I think if Moose can take advantage of the fact that he's got a much better left side tire situation here in turn 7, and then in the final turn he might get Sneaky in one of the straights before we finish this race here.
Yep, this is what I was talking about. You want to be the car behind if you're this close, because now he's going to get so much speed. As Sneaky did look like he tapped the wall there as well. Didn't get the good exit. Fresher tires, getting the speed. And I think they can send it. I really think they can send it around the outside here. Here we go.
If he's going to make the move, he's got to make the move now. There was a slight bit of contact between the Sneaky just holding off Moose for the time being. Moose has only got a number of corners to go to try and make this stick. It looks like Sneaky has got the upper hand right now, but Moose is certainly a man on the mission that is not going to make it easy for Sneaky and fight to the bitter end. We may need to have a look at the race leader because Kai is just coming across the checkered line to claim the victory of round one in the Division A heats. So congratulations to Kai with P2 going to Lisa Salter. Sneaky will just finish ahead of Moose to claim the last step on the podium to grab P3 and Moose P4. Banana grabs a P5 with Felmora grabbing a P6 just ahead of SPC who finishes in P7. Arrow US will grab P8 he's just coming onto the back straight now. So congratulations to Arrow US. Then we've got Jazam, who is just going through the final corner now. He will grab P9. And Spawn goes a bit wide in the background. I thought he collapsed into the wall there, but he grabs a solid top 10 position for him. PHG Caper, a little bit unfortunate in a couple of laps ago. He will grab P11, and then we've got Island Grown a further 30 seconds behind. He will grab P12. But what are your thoughts on that race, T-Case?
That was fantastic. It did a lot come down to where they started on the grid. I thought there was a lot more wheel-to-wheel racing than I was expecting. We saw several times through the technical sectors where they were too wide, battling out. But overall, very clean race. I think some of the elevation changes in those corners caught a couple of the drivers out and spun them around. But overall, super great, super clean racing. Fantastic.
Indeed. And also, Tessie, what are your thoughts?
Lots of clean racing. That was awesome. Obviously, I wish that the mid-pack had a bit more drama, but they seem to get separated from one another. But those top four, the fights for the top four positions, rather, did not disappoint at all. Happy to see how the race ended up.
Thank you for your thoughts, guys. So yes, just looking back on the classified results then, congratulations to the Kai head of Bib and Dribble race team. He gets the first victory of the season with the fastest lap time as well. 1 minute 48.736. Absolute phenomenal drive there from the Kai, with a very, very good drive from Lisa Salters as well, finishing in P2, just 2 seconds behind the Kai. P3 went to GLK Sneaky, which is still a fantastic race result for that driver, gaining 3 positions from qualifying. Then P4, unlucky for Moose there, but still a great result for him. Finishes in P4. P5 goes to Banana. P6 goes to Felmora. P7 goes to SPC. Arrow US claims P8. P9 goes to Jazam. Hopefully I said it.
You're doing a great job. Great job.
Justification there. Yeah. Yeah, he finishes in P9. Top 10 finish for Spawn. Then it's Caper in P11 with P12 going to Island Grown, and unfortunately a DNF for Super Uber.
And what a night of racing, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Fantastic. A little bit speechless, to be honest, and certainly I'm going to have to rest my voice, I think, after tonight is done. It was an absolute fantastic race to endure. And now it's time to interview the top 3 drivers. We're going to be starting off with GLK Sneaky, who grabbed P3 tonight. Congratulations, Sneaky. And how are you feeling?
My heart's racing a little bit, but, you know, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly had a fantastic race day. You qualified in P6, rose your way into P3. How do you think your strategy went for this race?
Well, I did a lot of practice, and I realized that I'm not the greatest on tires, and I found that I had to really preserve even just to get to lap 7, because after it was after the tires like reach 50%, they would like drop off by like over a second. So I knew that that was my goal if I had any chance of moving up, was I had to preserve those tires.
Well, you did an absolute fantastic job on that. That is for sure. And yeah, TK, have you got any questions for Sneaky?
Yeah, Sneaky, great job, man. Always a pleasure talking with you. You've been here since the beginning. Got to interview you several times now. And I just wanted to ask, as far as you know, your practice went, how did you feel about your qualifying position? Did you feel like you could have qualified better, or was your qualifying
I like
time?
I almost threw my controller across the room, but no, I was not happy with myself. I'm very competitive, and I want to do the best I can and put out the best effort, and I did not do that in qualifying, so I was pretty frustrated with myself.
Well, you made up for it in the race, man. Great job.
And Tati, any questions for our third place finisher?
Congratulations again, Sneaky. Well defended against Moose for sure. He was trying real hard to get you, especially in those last couple of laps. Do your hands shake as much as mine do when I've got someone right on my bumper and I'm trying to defend?
I mean, like I embrace that nervous factor, so I
Nice.
don't really find my hands shake. I mean, I find my body gets very tense. I don't know why. I'm sitting down in a chair, but my legs hurt like hell right now. But even though I'm not even using them to race, but you know, it's difficult. Like it's difficult to race it with the controller. I find, especially with the motion controls, it's very sensitive, and if I've made sure to maintain my composure, or else you know, one little twitch of handshaking will mess you up big time. So.
Got it. That's exactly why I asked, because you're on motion controls, and I was like, I wouldn't have made it. There's no way my hands get to shaking. Well, congratulations again. Well done on P3.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
And just a final question as well. I was just going to say as well to end things there. Was you confident about finishing in front of Moose? Because at one point I just couldn't tell who was going to finish in front of each other. Really, it was that close.
Well, I knew that I was going to be under big threat. I think if I, spent time trying to nail that, hairpin, like going onto the, or not hairpin, but long sweeping corner going onto the back long straight, I lost like 2/10 almost every lap to Moose. So I knew that he was strong in that sector and I wasn't. So I knew that I had to pull a gap through the first sector to have a chance of be ahead of him, and I think I did a good enough job. So.
Yeah, you certainly did. Yeah, excellent points on the board for round one in Division A. So yeah, you definitely deserve a nice rest and maybe celebrate with however you'd like to celebrate. And yeah, we'll see you for round two in 2 weeks' time.
Awesome. Thank you guys, and thanks, McDonald.
Thank you, Sneaky. Okay, so we are going to go to it's P2, and that is Lisa Salters. Congratulations on P2. I was going to say though, like not to put a down on things, but of course you qualified on pole position. Are you disappointed with P2?
Not really. That pole lap was the best lap I ran all week, so I was pretty much expecting P2. I don't know if the race could have maybe gone a little bit better, but just managed to get out of the pits in time, and my whole strategy at that point was to just kind of hold him up, maybe see if I could wear those older tires down a little bit further, and then maybe have it come back to me in the last lap or two, but he was just quicker.
Yeah, I mean, it was touch and go really, where you was going to come out really. And at one moment, I thought that Kai had a comfortable lead, and then of course realizing that the pit lane is a lot further up, you did just about get in front of Kai. But yeah, it was certainly touch and go through at least 2 or 3 laps afterwards, wasn't it? So
yeah.
So a little bit unlucky from your perspective. But TK, have you got any questions for our second place finisher?
Yeah. Hey, great job. That was some incredible racing, and like you said, that was your fastest quali lap. I'd been in a few lobbies with you and the Kai, and when I saw you put up that time, I was blown away. So, great job on that. In those final laps, when you were really putting the pressure on the Kai, was there an incident or anything that happened, or was it just your tires dropping off and you had to kind of drop back a little bit there at the end of the race?
Yeah, they I don't know what it was, but they just kind of never came to me. I was expecting them to, and like lap 3 or 4 really on these tires was like that's your chance to set your fastest lap, and I just was a little weak through that anchor onto the back straight, and he was basically eating tents on me every lap there. So yeah, unfortunately wasn't able to get it done, but yeah.
Well, you did an excellent job, and you treated us to some really lovely wheel to wheel clean racing. So thank you.
Well, that's all you can ask for.
And also, Tessie, have you got a question for Lisa Salters?
Yeah. Congratulations again, man. That was excellent racing. It is too bad that you only got P2, but it's what you expected. So I guess congratulations are in order for that. I guess what I want to know is, especially around here and this layout, did you get to practice battling with other people? Because that was like super clean between the two of you, especially through that technical section. And you made a couple of awesome moves.
I didn't do too much practicing as far as did a couple races with people, but most of those I was starting on pole. So my whole strategy was to basically try and make it as uninteresting of a race as possible. But unfortunately, Kai showed up today. So
Yeah, Kay did the Kai. He's a phenomenal driver. He's if anyone finishes in front of Kay did the Kai, then you know you've had a spectacular race. But certainly, I thought it was still a pretty much faultless race from you, though. It was a fantastic performance, and just. It's just one of them things, unfortunately, but great points for you from round 1. And yeah, with 2 more rounds to go, should put you in a strong position. So congratulations on today's performance. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks for round 2.
Can I ask another
awesome.
question?
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
I'll ask it next time.
Okay, so... Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I think I kind of mumbled it. Yeah, I do still see him here. But I have one more question. The people want to know, who is Lisa Salters?
Well, she's
and why she got a dog?
Because she do, and that's just the fact.
Because she do.
Science.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Take her easy, guys.
Yeah, take care. Thank you. Well, that's revelation done and dusted there, and yeah, it was a fantastic race to enjoy, and fantastic 2 races actually that we've had tonight, full of drama, and yeah, this is something that we come to expect from NRL, and it's yeah, certainly didn't disappoint today. I got to give you, I got to ask a quick question actually, TKs. Who is your driver of the day?
Driver, I'm going to go with Lead Pencil. Lead Pencil. I mean, to start in 7th in a race with that many lead changes and position changes, the threat of weather, to just deliver a perfect race, really, and come out with the win. So good on Lead Pencil. Yeah,
I have to agree with you on that one. It was no disrespect to Lead Pencil, but I think he said it himself that quite unexpected for him to win the race. He, came from P7, wasn't it, in qualifying to win the race. So it was an absolute fantastic performance, and yeah, certainly definitely merits driver of the day. But Tati, have you got a driver of the day in mind?
I took P3 in the first race, yeah?
Sorry, say that again, Tati.
Parquet took P3 in the first race, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's Parquet. I mean, he was quiet and sneaky and didn't seem to have much drama until maybe the very end, but pulled it out to get on the podium. And, you know, it was a tough race for sure.
Yeah, with the drag race for the podium.
Yeah.
It was very, very tight.
Yeah. Okay, well, with all that said then, guys, I suppose it's quite right that we look at the standings for round one. Are we starting from Division B? So starting from Division B, the standings are as follows. So there is Lead Pencil with the race victory at the high-speed ring reverse, with P2 going to Cyrus Nicky. P3 went to Parquet. P4 went to Zilla, who was 5/1000th of a second, separating P3 and P4. Literally a photo finish between the pair of them. Angry Fredbird finishes in P5, not too far behind either, roughly about a second there. MD Hop grabs a P6, who did have the race lead at one point, but unfortunately he did slip down the order because of that spin. P7 went to Jezza. P8 went to Horn of Plenty. P9 went to Racecraft. P10 goes to Bandit. And then we had, was it 2 DNFs, was it? Or is that a graphic mess up? Okay, so P11 went to Captive Thunder, P12 went to P Rosal, P13 went to Johnny Boy, and P14 went to Sweet Lucanus. And yes, I forgot to mention as well, yes, so Lead Pencil with 25 points, Cyrus Nicky with 18 points, Parquet with 15 points, Zilla with 13 points, Angry Fredbird with 10 points, MD Hop with 8 points, Jezza with 6 points, Horn of Plenty with 4 points, Racecraft with 2 points, RTS Bandit with 1 point, and the 4 drivers after P10 don't get any points. Then on to the Division A standings then. So KD the Kai with that great performance grabs victory in round one of Division A with 26 points. Lisa Salters got second position to claim 18 points. P3 goes to Sneaky and grabs 15 points. P4 goes to Moose with 12 points. P5 goes to Banana with 10 points. P6 goes to Felmora with 8 points. P7 goes to SPC with 6 points. P8 goes to Arrow with 4 points. P9 goes to Jazam with 2 points. I didn't say it correctly that time. P10 goes to Spawn with 1 point. And unfortunate for Caper, he gets P11 but no points. P12 Island Grown, no points. P13 with a DNF is Super Uber, and Boku did not start, also has no points.
Are we about to see what race we're going to get next?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yes, Productions has just told us that the race is coming up in 2 weeks' time for the Saturday heats. Firstly, for Division B. Yeah, Division B.
Oh!
Wow. Wow, what can I say? It's Suzuka East Course in the Racing Kart 125 Shifters. And, well, I did not expect this at all. It's a 5-minute qualifying ahead of a 25-lap race here at Suzuka East Course. It's going to be a grid start with full start check. BOP is not available because it is a kart race. Also, no damage and no tyre wear or fuel consumption, again, because of the kart settings with sport soft tyres available for the racing cars. I do wonder, does it rain at Suzuka East?
Oh.
I've been told by production that it does rain at Suzuka East. So should there be any bad weather, this could be very, very interesting, right, TK?
Oh, indeed. I love karts. I'm a big fan of the karting in this game. And this is also one of my favorite short track layouts, the Suzuka East. So it's going to be a blast. And if it gets wet, it's going to be real tricky.
What are your thoughts, Tati?
So I just taken a look, and carts definitely weren't on my bingo card. I remember to add that for the next season. Wow, that's crazy. I love carts as well. Sometimes, I don't know, I haven't raced them in a while. There are times where it feels like the physics are weird around carts, but Suzuki is absolutely great. Love that it's just going to be a straight sprint. It's going to be violent. I'm excited.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's certainly going to be a very interesting race, but we also got to show you what is coming up for Division A for round 2. And we are at the Brands Hatch GP circuit here in the UK, and they're going to be driving the Toyota SFR Racing Concept cars, which is 14 laps at Brands Hatch. And they have got the sport soft and medium tyres available, with both of the tyres required as well, with a 10-minute qualifying ahead of that 14-lap race. So it's going to be a grid start with a full start check, with BOP on, no tuning, mechanical damage set to heavy, with a tyre wear rate of times 14 and a times 5 fuel consumption. What are your thoughts, Tati?
Wow. That is heavy tire wear. I mean, I guess you have to have it with the street cars. They have harder rubber, but oh my gosh, McNaughty, you're just gonna have to deal with a commentator trying to do comms and race at the same time, because I absolutely love this track. I absolutely love this car, and you're just gonna hear my wheel. Like, whoop, whoop. That's sorry.
And your thoughts as well, Ticos?
I agree. This is right up my alley. I do lobbies pretty regularly, and I like using the more road cars, especially these ones that are kind of like touring cars, but still road cars. I love the sport tires. I'm a huge fan of the sport tires over the racing tires. This is going to challenge a lot of the drivers, because a lot of these drivers are used to using strictly race cars on racing tires, and there's a big difference. Stability under braking is a lot different on the sport tires, and then how quickly you can get on the throttle. You really have to have good throttle control. So at this track where you can understeer at any corner, it's going to be fun to watch, and these cars are fantastic. If you haven't driven one of these cars in the game, go drive one. They are a blast.
So good that every time I try to use them in the street lobby, I'm immediately shouted down at the chat, like, absolutely not, new car. Like, man.
That's because they don't know what they're doing.
They don't know.
Well, round 2 starts in 2 weeks, so we have got a 1-week break in between. Friday, the 18th of October at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Division A and B races are joined by Toon, Leo, and Slow-Mo. So catch it all on this very channel, youtube.com/McNaughty. And then, of course, with us three, myself, TKs, and Tati, of course, the following day on the Saturday, the 19th of October. So hope to catch you then. But yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, we've had fantastic racing tonight through Division B and A, and now we've got a bit of a treat coming up in 2 weeks. Really can't wait for that, and yeah, I'm going to be waiting in anticipation and really scratching the walls, really, I think, because I literally am so excited for it. But yes, thank you all for watching tonight. Thank you for your great company, as always, in chat. Thank you to everyone that donated to this awesome organisation in Naughty Racing League. And yeah, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. So it's good night from Tati.
Good night. Thanks for coming.
Good night from T-Case.
Yes. Have a good one, y'all. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
And it's a good night from me. Goodbye and God bless you all, and see you soon.